Today we are going to start our topic of oligopoly. Oligopoly means we find a few sellers and many buyers of a product. What it is? A few sellers, and many buyers of a product, of a similar product. Sometimes the products are perfectly similar. Like the farms, they are producing the products which are perfectly similar. Then we say it is perfect oligopoly. What it is? A perfect oligopoly. I can give you one of the examples, like oil exporting countries. When they are exporting oil, they are extracting oil in the raw form, in the crude form. So that oil is perfectly similar from all the countries who are producing it. So then we say this is perfect oligopoly. Usually, in case of oligopoly, we are having the products which are similar to each other, but they have a little bit differentiation as well. For example, we say the beverages, Coke and Pepsi, they are producing the similar types of products, but they have little bit differentiation in the taste. Alright? They are the substitutes to each other, but they have differentiation in their taste. Okay? Another example can be there. The cellular companies are providing us the cellular services. Like there are 4 companies in our country. They are providing the similar services, but in all the cases we can find a differentiation among their services. One company might be having a good internet connection, while others are having good coverage, and others are having good call qualities. Okay, so all the companies, although their services are similar, but they are differentiated as well. Or we can say the A-level awarding institutions, like the schools who are providing A-level education in our city, they are 3 in number. They are providing the same level of education, but the provision of education can be differentiated. Each teacher or each institution is having a different kind of style of teaching to the students. So these markets where we find a few number of sellers and many buyers of the product, and products are having little bit differentiation as well, that market structure is called what? Oligopoly. And this happens in large scale businesses. At smaller level, we analyze that monopolistic competition is present, but at large scale, okay, we find oligopoly market structure. This is the most real market structure. Okay. Here we find the characteristics like there are a few sellers and many buyers of the product, and one very important feature of this oligopoly market structure is interdependence among the firms. Interdependence. Interdependence among the firms means the decisions of the firms, they are interdependent. If one firm is going to reduce the price of the product, it has to face a rival action by the rival firm. Other firm will also reduce its price, because in one industry there are only a few number of firms. If one firm is taking an action to reduce the price, then other firm will also react. So whenever any firm is going to change the price level, it will be considering the possible reactions by the rival firms. So the decisions of the firms, they are rivalrous and they are interdependent as well. Another characteristic of these oligopoly the right price to set in the market. Okay? They don't try to set their own price, but they are seeking the right price in order to set it in the market. Alright? Another thing which is present in case of oligopoly, all the firms, they will try to maximize their short-run profits. Want to earn super-run profit, they want to maximize their short-run profits. Alright? Another thing which we find over here, strong barriers to entry. What are those barriers to entry? We find whenever barriers to entry they do not exist, then degree of competition will increase. If there are no barriers to enter in the market, many new firms can easily enter and degree of competition will increase. And when we find strong barriers for the entry of new firms, they will have less competition among the oligopolistic firms. What barriers are present in case of oligopoly? What barriers are there? We can find very high setup cost. High setup cost maybe. This can be one of the barriers if you want to start a large scale business, then you have to buy the fixed assets, you have to spend more money for the entry of your firm into this market. Sometimes we find a strong barrier of high fixed cost of production or high advertising costs. What do you mean by advertising costs? When you are going to compete the larger firms, there should be massive advertisements on electronic media, paper media, billboards, that people should be having perfect information about your product. Okay? So in this case of advertisement, what happens? The firms are spending huge amount of money. They are using the brand ambassadors like the celebrities to whom people will be following to buy the product. Like Bill Gates is also coming in some of the advertisements of the products. That means if he is the brand ambassador of a certain company, then the followers of this personality will also be buying it. You can watch aerial advertisement. Seem Akram, a cricket star, is coming to that advertisement to show that this product is quite famous because a famous cricketer is recommending this product. Alright? But still he is being used for the advertisement of a detergent. Throughout the whole life he was a famous cricketer, but now he is working in the advertisement agency, in the advertisement area, and he is being asked to advertise the products of those companies. Alright? So advertising can be a big barrier for the entry of new firms. Like if a new firm is going to compete Nestle in the market. Nestle is producing milk pack. If any new firm, local firm is going to compete Nestle, like Alper. Alper is also a Tetra packaging whitener supplier, tea whitener supplier. So behind that product there is a huge firm of agrochemicals, a national firm, which is starting to compete a multinational Nestle. So what they are doing? Alper company, Alper product is having massive advertisement and they are showing the family love about the product they are having. Especially during the days of holy months of Ramadan, they show that our product is used at both the times, either at the time of fasting, to start the fasting or to break the fasting. So they are showing that their product is quite impressive and it is better than our rival. They are using persuasive advertisement. in which they are persuading the buyers or consumers to encourage them to buy as it is better than the rival firm. What else can be the barrier to entry? That is brand loyalty. What do we mean by brand loyalty? The consumers, the customers, they are brand loyal. They don't want to break their loyalty to the product. Even their product is not found in one of the shop, they will go ahead to search it out. They will take time to buy because they are brand loyal. If we are using Lipton tea for our regular tea purposes, so in that case, these buyers are not going to buy any other branded tea. So people, they are having brand loyalty. If a new firm is entering into the market, this has to put in more efforts to break this brand loyalty. Very strong barrier. Okay. What else can be there? Brand proliferation. What do you mean by brand proliferation? Brand proliferation means what? One seller, he is producing so many branded items. He does not allow the new firm to enter into the market. Like Unilever is producing more than 75 product ranges. Alright? Unilever is a very large scale firm. It is producing the consumer items like Danda Cooking Guide, Planta Cooking Guide, many other products they are producing. This is called brand proliferation. That means one producer is producing so many branded items. If any competitor is thinking to enter into the market, he will see so many brands by a single producer. He has covered all types of consumer items for daily use. Okay? They have also segmented the market according to the income groups of the people, according to their taste, according to their age. They are having all types of products for all types of income groups, for all types of age groups, and for both types of genders. They are having all types of products in the market. That is called the brand proliferation. Another thing, due to this brand proliferation, all types of market niches will be covered. Niche market means what? When your product is moving to the upper range of income, at the lower level of income, a gap is present. Now a new firm can enter. So what this large scale firm is doing, it is launching a new product at lower prices that new firm cannot enter. Niche market is having the entry of new firms which is blocked by the same large scale firm. Like Surf Excel is also produced by Unilever. When it has become expensive and it has become a product of higher income group, now a gap is present for the entry of new firm. Unilever started to produce wheel detergent at lower price. That new firm should not enter into the market. So if niche is present, that niche market can be covered by the entry of the new product by the same producer. So these types of, we can say there are other barriers they can be there, like predatory pricing policies, limit pricing policies. They can also be used as barriers to the entry of the new firms. So if anyone is going to enter into the market, that new firm has to cross these barriers. Alright? Small scale businesses can easily enter, but large scale businesses, they are required to cross these barriers. Otherwise, they cannot able to enter into the market. So as far as we find, if we find oligopoly, it is having more discussion about these barriers to entry. So There can be different oligopolistic models like sticky price model where firms do not enter into the price war. Firms are having two options. One option is that either to cooperate with the rival firms, a legal cooperation to make a cartel, formal collusion is made with the firms, with the rival firms, then they behave like a single firm. If they have made horizontal integration with each other, they have removed the competitors. So all those firms, those who are the members of that cartel, they will be behaving like a single firm. Informal cooperation is that when firms are cooperating with each other without writing an agreement, they make one of the market leader and then they try to follow that market. Other option with the firms, that is about price competition. Either they enter into price war or non-price war. Price war means when leader firm is decreasing the price, the follower firms will also be following the same trend. But when leader firm is increasing the price, the follower firms are not increasing the price because they want to get more market share. If leader firm is increasing the price, the follower firms, they are not increasing. This is called price war. And non-price war is that when all the firms, they are charging the same price, but they compete on advertisement, brand loyalty, brand proliferation. So this is called what? Non-price war. They are having competition not on prices, but on other things where they can compete. Like on advertisement, brand proliferation, market segmentation, the area they are going to sell. They have to explore the new markets as well where the rival firms haven't reached. Alright. So up till now I haven't drawn the diagram of the oligopoly. By tomorrow I will be doing one of the diagram. This is mainly a discussion type of market structure where we find the game theories. The firms are playing the games in the market. But before doing the diagrammatic analysis about the oligopolistic firm, these things are also necessary that we should be knowing about these things, that the firms, they are competing, and perfect information about the prices and products, they may not be available to everyone. Okay, so these are the characteristics and what are the features which are available in case of oligopolistic firm, and tomorrow inshallah we will be doing the rest of the things related to diagrammatic analysis and what different types of oligopolistic behaviors are there in the market when they make a cartel or when they do not make a cartel. Alright, that's all.